Okay, this is the video solution for homework number 10 for all the lab sections 51 through 54. And there are two problems here, but I would like you to submit only problem one. All lab sections submit only problem number one. It deals with parameterizing a solid model. You can see that. The parameters to be controlled are here. And I also want the name of the part and the material to be among the parameters in the tree. Okay. The second problem is a design table problem, and we'll worry about it later on. Okay. So let's go ahead and create the nominal part. So we're going to go to a new file, part file, because we're dealing with part. And remember, we are not going to give you homework on assemblies, but you are responsible for parameterizing an assembly and also the design table for an assembly, which we're going to start on Friday, July 30th. Okay. Now the senior students who have capstone presentations can watch the video presentation for the third year student, which is going to be in YouTube. Okay. All right. So on this vertical plane, I will sketch something that resembles that guy that I had there. You'll clean it up in a second. Okay. I can do the rest of it down here, and we'll clean it up. Okay, let's do a cleanup here. First of all, left side control, right side control, middle axis. We're going to make it symmetric. Okay. This line control, that line control, middle axis. We're going to make it symmetric. Okay. And let's see now. We want these to be the same length, so I can drag this thing. Okay, this point, control that point, control again middle axis, symmetric. Okay, very good. And now this arc here, the center of that arc must be on the axis of symmetry. So let's draw a circle, an arc like that. The center of it must be on the axis, y-axis, and we're going to start here and we go there. Okay, good. Now you can see that if you move these things, it will symmetrically change. You can see that, right? All right, and let us dimension the stuff that we want to control. There's a few things that we need to do. This one eventually is going to be my h, and this is also going to be my h. So these dimensions are going to be equal to h. Or I can set this dimension equal to that dimension and make this dimension equal to h. Okay, so that's it's up to you. Now the radius of the circle is to be controlled, and there is a distance from the center of the circle to that line is also what is labeled as W right here. See that? As W. All right. So we exit and we pad it, and that pad length is also a parameter to be used later on. Okay. Save everything. So file, save management, save as, desktop. New folder. We call it 111 homework 10. Okay. So now we're going to create 4 parameters which are of type length L, H, W, R, and L, the length of the pad. So we go to f of x. What do we have here? Length. So first one is going to be h. Now, if you click on the part, all the nominal dimensions are shown here. So for example, if I say rename parameter, see now, wait a minute, rename, did I create that h? No, I didn't do that. So let's do it. Let's do it again. New parameter. Oh, there it is. Actually, it was here. It was here. That's okay. I can call this thing w. And that w is going to be 3.7. This is right here. It's this number 3.4, or roughly 2.4, roughly 2.4. Okay, and this h is roughly 3.4 also. 3.4. What else do we need? We need the radius, big R. And if you look at it, I think it's 1 point something, 1.1, roughly 1.1, 1.1, 1.1. And the padded length is over here. It's the padded length. I'll make it, I don't know. I'll keep it the way it is. Now, what else do we need? We need, oh, hang in there. Did I create my, okay, this I wanted to select to be L, the padded length, and the value of it is at 0.787. 0.787. Okay, apply. Now, we want a parameter of type string, and we call it serial number. And I'll put it dummy here, with dummy. Material we don't have to do because it will happen by itself automatically. Now, if I apply a nominal material here, aluminum on this part, we say OK. Now notice that the parameters is not appearing in the tree because I already created some parameters. Now to do that, let me remind you how it goes. Tools, options, under the infrastructure, under the part infrastructure, on the display tab, you make sure that the parameters and any equations that you create in future are going to pop up right there. And these are the parameters that I created. Okay, for length, one string. Now, also this is created automatically as soon as you apply material on this thing. The parameter is created, it's called material. Good. Now we're going to do our equation. So we go to f of x. Okay, you click on that. I want this to be, add a formula equal to w. I want this to be, add a formula to be h. And the same thing with this bottom one, by the way, add a formula equal to h. As I said, you could have done this dimension equal to that dimension, and then that dimension equal to h. That would also work. And then the radius, add a formula equal to r. And finally, the padded length, which is right here, add a formula equal to L. Finally, if you click on the material, on the part, you scroll all the way down, you get material, or you get part number. Okay, add a formula equal to the serial number. And that's why this immediately becomes dummy. Say okay. Save everything. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. So serial number, save it. Now we go change. So let's start with H, with R. Instead of being 1.1, let me make this thing 1. Well, 0.5. How about 0.5? There we are. W, let me make it 2. Okay, you can hardly see any difference here. So let's go 1, see what happens. There we are. Okay, L is the length of the path, so we go 6. Okay, and for serial number, let's change it to AAA and say okay. All right, now I just realized something, and that is uh, yeah, one other dimension that I should really have created was, for example, this length. Okay, this length here, see that? This length. This can also be independently changed, but that's okay. This is the homework that I gave you. I expect you to do the same way. All right, so let's try one more time. This W, I'm going to make this thing maybe 1.3. Yeah, it became taller. And the radius, if I make it, for example, 1, it looks like that. Okay, yeah, yeah. So save it and get out of it. Okay, so let's go and look at the second problem. This is a design table problem, and it looks like that. So first I'm going to create this these nominal this nominal part. The parameters are H, R, alpha, and this W. Okay, and L. Okay, so we go 5. All right, let's go ahead and do this. I think on my other screen. Okay, so we go to Catia, create a part file. On that plane, I will sketch something that resembles the shape that I have on the screen. And there are different ways of doing it. I'll leave it to you to decide how you're going to do this. But here is what I'm going to do. That's entirely up to you. And then we clean it up. Okay, so I want this point control to be on that axis to make it perfectly symmetric. Coincident. Good. And I guess I want this point control that point, control middle axis to be symmetric. Yeah. Okay, let's dimension the stuff that we want. So dimension between that point, and this axis. This is what later is going to be L. No, H. This later is going to be H. And let's see, what else do we have? Angle. Between this angle, between this edge and that edge, this is eventually going to become alpha. The radius of the circle is going to be R, and there's something called W, and that W is from the distance between this line and that axis. This is going to be W. Yeah, later it's going to be W. All right. But just a comment here. In the previous problem that I did, if you look at the sketch that I drew, definitely it's not all green, because that thing that I was talking about at the end, I should have done another dimension, was missing. But that's okay. That's the problem that I gave you. You do it like that. All right. So exit and then pad it. Okay. Fine. Now, the next step is to go and, as I told you, the different ways of doing these design table problem. I showed you the one way, which is going to rename these dimensions. So you go to f of x, you click on that. So this is going to be called h. Yep. This is going to be called w. This angle is going to be called alpha. Alpha. And that radius is going to be called r. And the padded length, which is right here, is going to be called L, according to the drawing, L. Now, we also want, yeah, that's, and we also want a yeah, that's pretty much it. Say okay. All right. This was just renaming, correct? So now we're going to go and create our design table. So go here, which means our Excel spreadsheet. That's really what I mean. File, save as. File, save as. Browse. Was a homework here. Desktop was right there. I'll call it homework 10. Is that the right folder? Yep. Let's put in the first column. Just retype whatever you see there. Serial number. Serial number. Serial number. MAT. Because the table shows you MAT. Okay, that's what I'm going to put right there. L in inches, parentheses inches. H parentheses inches, IN. R parentheses IN. W IN. And alpha DEG. And we fill in, populate our table. AAA, BBB, CCC. This is steel. This one is brass. That one is gold. The numbers according to that table is 4.51. H is 523. 523. R is 532. Yeah, 532. W 3.5.5. And finally alpha 90 120 10. 90 120 10. Save it and close it. Okay, now we're going to go to design table right there. The only way that I've shown you is that first one, existing table. That's why I created it. And this was the table. Do you want automatically to associate the renamed parameters basically in your database and the Excel spreadsheet? The answer is yes. So notice that these are all taken, but what is not taken are the serial number and material type. So material, I scroll down, I associate it with, oh, I forgot to apply a dummy material to it. So that's okay. Just say okay. Just close it. Now go apply material here. Apply material, aluminum on that part. You say okay. Go back to your design table. right here, expand the relations, double click on it, double click on it, association. Serial number is associated with part number, associate, and material MAT is associated with that material that I just applied. And if you want to reorder these so that they look different, so let's go up, up. That's going to be the first column. If you want this thing to be a second column, move it up. Oh, I didn't mean to close it. So here, part serial number is over here. Material, these are dimensions. So if you look at your first row and you say apply, that is probably what you're going to get right there. Steel, AAA, and these dimensions. If you go to the second row, apply, there we are. Brass, BBB, and these are the dimensions for that second row. Apply, there we are. These are the dimensions for the third row. Okay, 10 degrees, very acute. Okay, and yeah, and go and say okay. Remember, you have to give us. In this particular homework, we're not asking you to submit problem number 2, but if we were, you would give us the part and the Excel spreadsheet. Same thing on the final exam. All right, that's pretty much it.